Welcome along everyone, it's Monday evening, that means it's time for yet another Racing Post Live Extra. Myself, Dave Orton, thrilled to be here with you, where better place to be on a Monday evening. Last week's show, it's fair to say, got the Twitter world going crazy. Let's see if we can repeat such shenanigans. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe, Facebook Live, Facebook Welcome to the Party, and anything on Twitter, it's hashtag RPL Extra. Nailed it at the first time of asking. We've got you covered on anything past, present and of course future. So we'll be having a very good look back at what happened from an unbelievable weekend. Saturday and Sunday, where do we start with that? We've only got so much time, around about half an hour, 45 minutes, however long we go on. Let us know you're out there. I know there's a poll as well, isn't there? Who wins the Tingle Creek? Because we will be having a very good look at this week's action as well. The Betfair Tingle Creek, of course. Live, the live show, each Saturday we do. We're also going to bring you this Friday as well. So lots coming your way. Who joins me on a stellar panel? Really looking forward to this. It's a hat trick for Kate Tracey.
It is, yeah. It feels like I've got myself into a nice little routine now.
Monday habitat, you know, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it really has been so enjoyable these last few Mondays, getting to talk about good racing, getting to look forward to good racing, and of course in your company then of these Monday evenings.
Marvellous. And who else, of course, the big hitter, he's been out and about, but he's back in Dublin, is Barry Orr.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all keeping well. Last week, you said the Twitter world was lit up. That was G-Rod and his statement about Bob Ollinger, no doubt. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have any of those such outlandish statements today unless Patrick comes up with some woozy here about checking for a swab. But I'd say that's odds against as a betting man.
Well, we've teased it, and we've got another massive guest for you. Who better to have than from across the Irish Sea as well? An Anglo-Irish affair this evening. It is Patrick Mullins, joins us from his Close Sutton base. Patrick, welcome along.
Thanks so much, Dave. Good to see you.
Champion amateur national hunt jockey, absolutely. Patrick, let's stay with you. It's been a slow time. I bet you were thrilled that Nicky Henderson was getting all the mud thrown at him for having a slow start, which due to the weather, weren't you? It's also been a drought over there.
It is. It's incredibly dry over here, and we've been, probably we're a fortnight behind ourselves. Usually we'd be kicking into gear back there, the Morgiana meeting. But we're just waiting for the rain. I think it's to come this week.
Yeah, and it's fair to say, we'll get to it, Patrick, but you hit the scoreboard, didn't you? Let's face it, this weekend, Grade 1 success coming your way. We'll get to that. So let us know you're out there. What do you make of the week ahead? You'll be getting loads of tips coming, all the panel's views. Let's get stuck into it with it. It was a marvellous weekend. Of course, Betfair sponsored Newcastle. And we started off in fantastic style in the Betfair rehearsal chase. What a finish that was, and it was the order of things to come. Isn't he? Or
there's time yet. There's time yet.
Oh, it wasn't great, I
Come on, Dale.
Surely I can get this.
Come on, Dale.
He's filling his hands. Not another coming for I is it?
Come on, Dale. Come on, Dale.
Oh, he's going to get there.
Come on, Dale.
Oh, no.
Come on, Dale.
Oh, he's held on. That Posty. This studio can make a monkey of us all, can't it? Posty, all over good boy Bobby there. Then, Barry. Most deserving prize, wasn't it? He'd been chinned, placed at the Cheltenham Festival. Did we see a national contender?
Yeah, we probably did. Like, his rating would get him into the national handy enough, I suppose. He's a 50-1 chance we introduce him to the betting, so he'd have a long way to go to be a genuine contender for honours. But he's in there with a chance. I think the story is more about Harriet Graham, isn't it? And, you know, how she's making her way with it as well. So it's a great story. He's been the bridesmaid quite a bit. He's danced every dance last year. Nice to see him get his head in front, but questionable form of the race for my money.
Good boy Bobby had come off the back of a Weatherby win and he had stamina to prove. They rode him. It was another chase, wasn't it? Another staying chase dominated from the front.
Yes, as is the case at the minute all over the country and in Ireland as well. Then because of the decent ground conditions we have, front runner bias at most tracks at the best of times, let alone when the ground is good. And that again proving the case at Newcastle at the weekend, but really likeable to see Right. You know, sometimes you have to look beyond form for just a story of the sport, and that was definitely one of them. And Right, he's so deserved that win.
And for Callum Bewley as well, of course, he dropped his reins, didn't he, that time when Taking misted him at Doncaster. I'd be a bit more positive on the form, Barry. I've got to say, I've definitely heard worse 50-1 shots. It's whether he goes, of course, the Scottish National is before Aintree. Now, in third was also called Dingo Dollar, who I put up. As soon as the market comes up for Dingo Dollar, have a look for Scottish National. quotes. He was second in it last time to Mighty Thunder, of course. He just wants the trip these days. He'll do for me. But of course, there were close finishes all over the place at Newcastle. We saved the best for last in the Betfair fighting fifth. What's a dramatic finish we got? Epperton, she's not going to go down without a fight. Not so sleepy on the inside. Epperton, no under Aileen Coleman. Just, I think. Wow. Oh, goodness gracious me. We were served up an
I think not
drink.
so sleepy, lads, no?
Well, I think Epperton maybe. But
Let's
it's
go to
very
Ryan
close.
McHugh. It's on the nod. The Exchange thinks it's Epperton. I wouldn't be betting on it. I never know when I'm on screen or off screen when it goes to me from the Saturday show highlights. I'm back. It wasn't that interesting. I called the photo finish, and you'll notice Posty then put the cat amongst the pigeons, and TC told Collins said maybe, but it looked like she won, didn't it? It was another thrilling finish. So Royale, who we used as benchmark in the race, trying to make it third time lucky, gave it a bold bid. Epperton shared the spoils with Not So Sleepy.
Yeah, and I think that was just sort of a micro story then of what everyone else was experiencing watching that race. You know, households across the country were watching it, having different opinions themselves. So a dead heat seemed like a sort of plausible outcome then on that basis from the different opinions that was there. But fantastic race after all the drama of the snow coming down as well and leaving the feature race till last. And then Epperton jumping so much slicker on the back of that back operation. Not So Sleepy, such an admirable performer. So Raw running his race. Silver Streak didn't look comfortable just as he did at Kempton as well. And Monmoral, just think it was that bit of a difference between the juvenile stepping up to open company.
Paul Nicol, yeah, let's get the Monmoral thing out of the way. I put on my radar, which is a section we come to later in the show for anything upcoming. I said if he wins the fighting fifth, that 25 to 1 for the champion will crash. It was egg on face time for me. It couldn't have been much worse. You're right, we did think that, didn't we? But Paul Nichols has since come out and said he got a bad cut, early on in the race. If that was the case, then perhaps I won't be tearing up that slip yet. Barry Orr, let's come to you. What did that do in the champion hurdle market? I suppose, if anything, it might have pushed them out, did it?
Yeah, just to say, Monmoral finished lame in the race. You said Nichols came out and said that he did sustain a cut early on in the race, so that would attribute something to his somewhat poor performance. It wasn't an absolute mare of a run, but he'll definitely have more chances as the season goes on. In terms of the principles in the race, Epperton was a 14 to 1 chance going into it for the champion. Her was cut into 10. Didn't change. Not So Sleepy, who's 50, and remains to be a 50 to 1 chance. Obviously, we'll talk about Honeysuckle, but she dominates the market at the moment.
Rightly so, I think, doesn't it? Absolutely. It wasn't just, of course, Newcastle. It was down at Newbury where you were, Barry. A little bit warmer down there in Berkshire. It was all about the Ladbrokes Trophy, of course. We saw some really good performances. But let's concentrate on the surprise winner, not a dry eye in the house, of course. The late Trevor Hemmings won back-to-back Ladbrokes Trophy, courtesy of Cloudy Glen. Where on earth did that come from?
Yeah, he was a 33 to 1 chance. I think he had a Betfair SP of 40 odd. I think if Remastered had stayed in his feet, I know this is kind of sticking the craw of Kate, obviously, who put it up on her blog on Betfair as well. But I think if Remastered had stood in his feet, we would have had a different result here. Maybe that's a bold shout considering it was 3 out. But Cloudy Glen, a worthy winner, I suppose, 33 to 1 the ground. Obviously, big difference to him, which is in contrast to a lot of Venetia William horses. Fiddler on the Roofs ran a cracker to finish second, and the third, albeit in a long way, he stayed on really, really well. What a game horse he is, Barama Bull. I'm sure Paddy will talk about him, but yeah, it's not a race that set anti-post markets alight off the back of that win. Like I think we're expecting maybe Eclat de Rio went off a short price favourite, finished pulling up. Like if that had a won, probably would have entered the Gold Cup picture, but Cloudy Glen a long way off Gold Club class.
Yeah, we gave him a Racing Post rating 154, which is actually exactly what Cloth Cap got when winning in 2020. We all saw what he went on to do. Cloth Cap's got taken on a little bit, didn't he? Patrick, let's bring you in there, waiting in the wings. You had 3 in the race. Animix came to grief. Firstly, is his all right? Brahma Bull ran on from the clouds to be third. Is he a national horse? And what happened with On the Ropes?
Yeah, Animix came home. He's 100%. He looks like he could be a Topham horse. That's where I think he could end up at the end of the season. Maybe the Leprechaun Chase before. But 3 mile 2 probably stretches him. But he jumped and travelled great. The other two, they were third and fourth, but they were disappointing, to be honest. They were never at the races. They couldn't lie up. They were getting in much other's way for the first lap. They were both going so poorly. Someone said to me that they didn't look fantastic in their coat in the ring. And they might, I think On the Ropes might be better than he ran there. Brahma Bull, he could be a national horse. And what I'd have in my mind from him is he'd be a great cross country horse. I think he could be another Uncle Junior. But I know Rich Ritchie celebrated like he'd had a winner. He got a great kick out of being third with him. But I don't think either of them are at their best. It was a strange race.
It wasn't just about, of course, that big one at Newbury. There were other performances, weren't there? We'll get to Ahoy Senor that took out the Grade 2 novice chase in scintillating style. But on Friday, Patrick, were you watching John Bon? It's fair to say that the Twitter world went mad for this. This is, of course, Duvan's brother. You should know plenty about this breeding, obviously. 570 grand, and he went and did not what the market expected him. We'll come to Barry on that one in a second, but he jumped like a dart. Amazingly, 3-1 now in places for the Supreme. You've not even run your big guns yet.
I did. I stopped in to look at him. What struck me was how well he hurdled. For a big horse, he was so slick over his hurdles. And look, he's an ex-Irish pointer. Those horses are very professional, so he was well able to make the running after a couple of flights. As things stand, he's the one to beat, but we'll be trying to beat him.
Yes, indeed. The pack must be shuffled. Everyone out there desperate to know. When will we start to see then, Patrick, the likes of Sir Gerhard, Kilcrut, of course, you've got a couple more for Cheveley Park, and my dark horse for the season, Dark Raven. How's he going?
Dark Raven's in good form, yeah. They've all schooled well. Sir Gerard was an pointer, and Kilcrut's a natural. Tony'd obviously done plenty with him. I got schooled him in the Curragh maybe 10 days ago. We could see a few of them out this weekend. Like I said, there's a lot of rain due this week. So hopefully if we get the rain, they'll be out this weekend. We could be like Aiden in the maidens. We could be running 3 or 4 in the maiden hurdles the way they're backing up. But look, it's, if you're running and the ground's too quick, you have 9 months, 12 months to kick yourself for getting an injury. So caution is the word at the moment.
Barry, let's come to you. John Bond slashed off the balls. Loads of horses were all over the place. A few people saying to me, how can they cut these horses? Ahoy Senor, we'll have a quick word about him in a minute for the Festival Chase as well. 3-1. What price is he on the sportsbook? John Bond, is he bigger there?
Yeah, he was an 8-1 chance going into Friday. We cut him into 5, and we saw plenty of money for him at 5 and 4. He's a 3-1 chance now. But as a fella said to me today, Willie Mullins' horses are still asleep in their stable. It's a ridiculous price, 3-1. It looks very, very short. Kilcrut 7-2. Sir Gerhard 8. My mate Mozzie, who ran very well yesterday, I suppose, giving £7 to what looks a good mare, is a 14-1 chance. Mighty Potter 16, and Dark Raven, your dark horse, is 20-1. But yeah, very short about a horse that, until you see what the Irish come out in the next couple of weeks from Ireland and at Leopardstown at Christmas, I wouldn't be advising anyone to weigh in at 3-1.
That was the domestic action. Then get your comments in on YouTube and Facebook. Love to read them. And don't forget that poll that's out there for the Tingle Creek. We'll reference that at the end of the show. Patrick, let's bring you in then. What a day it was at Fairyhouse. And Greybond's success, courtesy of Statuaire. Now, I had to look down then, Patrick, for a name because the market didn't really like her. Everyone thought my mate Mozzie might go and do it. And didn't she do well to pick him up? Because she was slightly slow 2 out. This is a proper mare.
She is. Now, we won't lie. I think we were pleasantly surprised. And Willie, deserves credit for... He's not afraid to have a cut with these mares. We won him at Early Beach a couple of years back. And this mare could have ran in the handicap off 10-5, I think, later in the day. But his view was that she'd never get a good chance to run in a Grade 1 again. She's come from France, so she's quite advanced. She's done plenty of jumping. She had a very good run in Auteuil in a list race. And then she had 2 poor runs when she pulled up. And she was sent over here then. And she's very keen. She's not an easy ride. Danny was very good. If you go back and watch her coming around the home bend, she's fly-leaping. She's putting her head up in the air and jumping out. Very unusual to see. But they went very slow. They jumped off like they were going to go a gallop. Arctic Warrior wears a hood. He was a bit keen. But once he's hit the front, he slowed down. Everyone slowed down with him. So it's turned into a dash. Does the form add up? It's hard to know, but she has a Grade 1 beside her name, and that'll be there forever.
Yeah, finished in a bit of a bunch, didn't they? It'll be interesting to see what the historical Racing Post ratings say. You remember on this show last week, Barry, we had G-Rod on, didn't we? And he put up a couple of runners, one for Newbury, the Fanian D'Estraval, who hosed up on Friday, but my mate Mozzie G, oh my Lord, if he'd have pinged the last
He said that was his...
He did.
He said that was the horse of the season, didn't he? Yeah, he said he didn't care whether it won at Cheltenham because he'd have won so much money between now and Cheltenham. It didn't matter what happened in the Supreme. But Yeah, I suppose the winner just getting the £7 probably pulled a great ride by Danny Mullins, and good to see that Paddy's stable still have their eye in, although it's a slow start for them. Willie ran 3 in the race, and that was the shortest price of the 3 at 12-1. So they got that right anyway.
Yeah, the race itself, Kate, there's lovely horses in it. If anything, it's been more of a pointer towards the Ballymore now. My mate Mozzie's a bit keen, isn't he? We'll see if he steps up. But we liked the third in the race, didn't we?
Yes, Mighty Potter, really excited about him, especially because of just how green he looked early on. You know, he's a big rangy type. I'd say he'd want a bit of cut in the ground as well, going down the line. But throughout the race, he was so green, you could see he was trying to find his feet before staying on well, and he sort of ran into traffic, had to weave his way through as well. But for me, he was staying on best of all. So when I'm looking to boost my anti-post portfolio, the only horse I was really citing at any price this weekend, Mighty Potter for the Ballymore, hopefully.
Very green. He went extremely wide, didn't he? In fact, he was terribly placed, I think, on the far side as well. We had the Drimmore as well, didn't we, Barry? A Beacon Edge coming from out the close to grab a Gabagnaco Fury Road. We're talking about good horses here, aren't we?
I'm not so sure how good a race it was. You couldn't give away Gabagnaco in the market when we first opened up, but it was a 5-2 chance. It finished up 5-1. Beacon Edge got a great ride, it has to be said, off Dennis O'Regan. I don't think that was a great race now, personally. I wouldn't read too much into the form. Lifetime Ambition, the ground was probably a bit too lively for that one. Obviously, has improved considerably over fences. Well, what it did up north, it jumped great and was favoured off the back of that. The ground just looked like it was a bit too lively for him. I'm looking forward to seeing him with plenty given the ground, maybe in Leopardstown over Christmas.
Was there a festival quote for Beacon Edge? I'm assuming there probably was. He's a 7-year-old and he'd been an 8-year-old. They might even look for the
I
National
think
Hunt
we
Chase.
put him in a 14 into the Festival Novice Chase, the old RSA.
Watch that back on your members club. He's crying out for a return of 3 miles. Will he see it out around Cheltenham? Of course, the star of the show then, Patrick, let's come to you. This Honeysuckle came back out to play in the Hatton's Greys. She's sort of not scraped home in it at a year before, but Henry de Bromhead, her trainer, said we'd done more with her this time around, and you rode in the race. How did she feel?
Yeah, I think last year it turned into a bit of a sprint, and that maybe nearly got her beat. And the way the race ran this year probably really suited her. A strongly run race. Stormy Ireland, that's she only had one way of going, so she went out hard in front. Sadly, I jumped off and Rachel was outside, and after the third hurdle, I wasn't able to go. He had an off day, and I think the others probably got caught a little bit far back. But look, she's flawless. She's the best around. There's no novice coming through to beat her. They've all gone chasing. It's hers to lose.
Not to be outdone, Tony Mullins joins the show. You can see the tweet there that Tony put up. Honeysuckle is in the Dawn Run League. And I don't say that lightly. What a mare. Barry, hard to disagree with that.
Yeah, she's an exceptional mare. Yeah, I thought if you're ever going to get her beat, it was probably yesterday. They were hemming and hawing at one stage about the ground, and Rachel rode in the 12:35, the second race, and came in. I think told Henry that she wouldn't have any issues with it, and they were happy to take their chance. And she's the race did fall apart a little bit in behind. Like obviously Paddy's horse didn't really raise a gallop, and Ronald pumped second. I'd say Abracadabra will come on significantly for the run. He always does. So yeah, she can only beat what's there, and she's done it convincingly, I suppose, but she's got bigger tests ahead of her.
Yeah, I'm just looking down for her Racing Post rating. I mean, yeah, we gave her £10 more. We gave her a 152 and she only just beat Ronald Pump. She beat by 8 lengths this time. I know that she only does what she has to. What can possibly give her £7 at the festival?
Yeah, nothing. I think you're literally, if you're getting even money about her for the champion hurdle at this stage, you're just basically backing her to turn up to get there, essentially, at this stage. I cannot see what's going to come out and beat her. Sharjah, bless his heart. I mean, of course, Patrick here to talk about him himself, but wonderful, wonderful horse. Can I see him reversing that form now at his age? Not likely. And of those in behind, definitely the British Raiders can't beat her, I don't think.
Could there be one yet in the yard, Patrick? Could it be Fernie Hollow?
Well, that's the only horse that possibly could beat her are all gone chasing. Fernie Hollow, Appreciated, and Bob Ollinger. The plan at the moment with Appreciated and Fernie Hollow is they're both going to go chasing. They've school over fences. They look like chasers. They have 1 point of points. So at the moment, bar something changes, they're going over fences.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's maybe the line that we wanted to get there. Okay, that was last weekend. We must now start looking towards another stellar weekend. Barry, once again, you're getting that Uber account going because you'll be in Esher at Sandown.
Yeah, looking forward to it. sponsoring several races across the 2 days, Friday and Saturday, but obviously at 2:25 on Saturday, the feature event at Betfair Tingle Creek. And Willie Mullins looks to hold a very strong hand in it at this stage. 8 went forward from a possible 13 in the 5-day stage this afternoon. And obviously Chacun Poursuit, 6-4 favourite now, really, really strong. But Nuba Negra's come in for decent support. He's into 13-8 now. Allaho is 8-1 from 10-1. Captain Guinness 8-1 from 10-1. Betfair Sportsbook and are betting 3 places. It's the dead 8 at the moment. I think it's highly unlikely that 8 will be declared come Thursday. So that's a great concession. We've Definitely De Soil, a previous winner in the race, in there as well. He's a 25-1 chance. He's lost his way a bit, but it depends what Willie sends over. I'm not sure. Can't wait to hear what Patrick says about Allaho and Chacun Poursuit, whether they both come. But Allaho, if he was a designated runner at 8 and 10-1, would be a massive price about him.
We had Patrick on for our big jump off, of course, about a month ago, Patrick, and I put it to you that Paul Keeley might have sussed the plans, and you gave me a little bit of a look, and I said, could it be that Chacun will be coming over, or maybe Energamine, or maybe Allaho? It turns out one of the big two will run. Which one? The market obviously suggesting it will be Chacun Poursuit. First thing, Patrick, is that the plan? And does Allaho go on Sunday in the John Durkan?
Well, look, the obvious thing to do is let Energamine go to Cork for the Grade 2, the first day out of novice company. That'll be a nice stepping stone. Allaho is one of the Ryanair, so the obvious place for him is the John Durkan, and Chacun Poursuit is the 2-miler. So the Tingle Creek would be the obvious port of call for him. I just see there today they're watering Sandown. So, I mean, that has to be a concern. But at the moment, that's the way the cards will probably be played. But there's plenty of water to come under the bridge.
Yeah, it has been dry over here, Patrick. We had a bit of a deluge. And then we're looking at maybe Friday, a bit into Saturday, but there's not perhaps as much as still people are hoping for. Kate, let's bring you in. You had a look at this race?
I have, yes. And just on the weather front, as you say, good ground. Currently they are watering, and it's a pretty dry forecast. Light rain then throughout the week, moderate showers. More showers on the Friday, about 4 millimetres all day, though, is really what we're looking at.
Newcastle watered last week. We saw what happened.
Exactly. Well, hopefully we won't get any snow getting in the way this time around. But yeah, for me, I'm delighted to hear, though, what Patrick's saying about Chacun Poursuit there, because for me, he is easily the horse to beat in this race. And you know, the fact he beat Nube Negra at Punchestown in the Champion Chase so convincingly. Of course, people are going to ask the question about his Cheltenham run on his penultimate start, and the first time he really got to run over in the UK as well. But for me, the track just didn't play to his strengths. I thought that was a shock to his system more so than anything. He's never run a race of that nature than prior. So I think that Sandown will suit him no end. The extra stamina test he's going to get, the jumping test it's going to produce with the railway fences. So for me, Chacun, I would definitely chance him again back in the UK. Yeah,
I'm not going to oppose him if he comes over. Absolutely not. There were excuses, we think, Patrick, as well. You told me before, on Champion Chase Day.
Yeah, look, I think if we had it again, we'd change our tactics. We rode the normal race, take a lead, sit second or third, but they went steady. It turned into a sprint. Like, they were murdering each other coming down the hill, and they were all in a bunch jumping the last. What Paul did with them in Punchestown, jump off, fold over, let him rock and roll, and he has a high cruise speed. He jumps well. We probably just didn't play to his strengths at the festival.
What would conceivably be the danger? Let's have a take on your look at the Schlur, which Nube Negra, you know, really clicked into play. Obviously finished ahead of you in the Champion Chase. Tactics will be interesting, Patrick, because he likes to hold his, fire till the very last fence. There potentially, hopefully, will be some front runners in it. If the outside of the lot goes Cheddleton, he likes to get on with it. Captain Guinness, if Rachel comes over, will she fire him? He could go forward as well. Any concerns whatsoever, or is he just in A1 form? Let's get on with it.
So look, the only worry I'd have is that other horses have had a run. But like you said, Nube Negra's had a run, but he comes from behind, so is he able to put that to the kind of advantage as he would ordinarily? But no, we're very happy with him. If he goes over, he'll be ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, he'll be loving the ground now, Nube Negra. The one time he was beaten at Sandown, it was in the novice. Also on this card, there's another Grade 1, of course, the Henry VIII. I think I've got the Roman numerals right there. I hate Roman numerals. I never get them right at all whatsoever. Didn't do Latin, as you're probably guessing out there at school. Barry, let's have a look at the market then. 60% of our viewers out there say Chacun will get another 1 to his name in this race. That means he's going to go off tips on.
I'm not so sure. Nuba Negra was 2-1 when we revised this betting when the 8 runners came in a little after noon today, but it is into 13-8 now. So the market momentum is speaking for Nuba Negra. You have Sharper Swat 6-4 though, heading the market just 3-1 Grenadine, 8-2 Allaho and Captain Guinness. But obviously Thursday will tell a tale. And interesting to hear Patrick saying about wanting a spill of rain or plenty of water put on the track for Shack and Purse. Grenadine is my own fancy at this stage. I was fancying it each way with the sportsbook paying 3 places, but he's at 3-1 now from 4 and 5. So it's not really an each way play there. But I think he'll run well. He'll come on significantly for his run in the Howden Gold Cup. He was carrying 7 pounds more this year than he did last year in that race. And he's been trained differently this time around. This race has been his early season target. Obviously, Paul Nichols has won this race 11 times, looking to win it a 12th time. So he'd be my selection in the race, but I think he'll drift on the day.
He will be the each-way selection for many in the race. So there's 3 places on the sportsbook. That's what you need to be looking at, 100%. And Barry's right. He was always going to need his run in the Haldon Gold Cup. I think Hitman, of course, is in there, who's got form at this track as well. But I think we know the Grenadine might be the one that looks like Bryony Frost might keep the ride on him as well. It will be about settling for him. Shall we go to Aintree this weekend as well? Because, yes, back over the national fences we go. Before we talk about the Becher Chase, though, Patrick, I have seen a very interesting entry in the Many Clouds Chase. Will the dual Gold Cup winner be going over? There is, I'm delighted to tell you, more uncertain weather up in Liverpool.
Yeah, like Willie said, this year we want to get more runs into him. He's a bit older and he probably needs to have his pipes opened a bit more. As a younger horse, it's suited to do the Tramore, the Cheltenham format. But we felt last year it left him a little bit short. If we got safe ground, I mean, he's in the John Durkin as well on Saturday, but obviously we have loads of entries. On Sunday, we have loads of entries on that. And it's 2.5 miles, which would be a little bit on the short side for him. So if there's nice ground, there's every chance he could come.
I mean, in the John Durkin at the moment, before we see what the 5-day decks are, it's fair to say you've got a whole squad entered in that. I was trying to decipher between them. I'd be surprised if it wasn't Allaho, though, viewers out there. Talking about viewers, we've got a question for Patrick after we do the Becher Chase as well. So, look, the dual Gold Cup winner could go. Barry, I have seen a Betfair market on the Many Clouds. It's around about 6-4 when I saw. We've got the likes of Champ in there, Protector out, Imperial Aura.
Yeah, 6-4 Album Photo. Champ is a 2-1 chance. Imperial Aura that fell in the Betfair Chase 4. Pataka at 5, 6 Fusel Raffle, 6 Native River, and it's 14 bar down. Yeah, it'd be fascinating if he comes over. It'd be great to see. Truly would, and I think they're going to expecting plenty of rain up in Liverpool, so that shouldn't be an issue for him.
Yeah, we saw the Irish fans flocking for the superstar mare. The Liverpudlians, let me tell you, would go crazy if Album Photo went up. But they'll be going crazy at 240 because it is the Becher Chase. Now, we've already had the Grand Theft, and Mac Totti is trying to do this something of a unique double, the first double, isn't it, by winning the Grand Theft and then, of course, going and taking this. They usually run on the same weekend. Barry, what's the market update on him?
Yeah, so it's 6 McTotty. Scaria 10 is a 7-1 chance along with Mighty Thunder. Kimberlite Candy is 8. 9 Snow Leopardess and Chris's Dream is 10. 11 bar 4 places to each way punters on the Betfair Sportsbook. I like Iscaria 10. I thought that was a cracking run in the National Hunt Chase. Obviously, a long-term target of his is going to be the Grand National. I think Snow Leopardess is about £6 better off with him, so that definitely comes into the reckoning at 9-1. But I think Iscaria 10 is really going to be a horse to follow this year.
Yeah, they must have run him too soon, I think, mustn't they, in the Irish National when they went for it. He just bombed out in that, didn't he? I must admit, he's very interesting.
Put a line through that.
I think so, Barry. That National Hunt Chase form is looking better and better as it goes on. We've seen Galvin come up and win, obviously, of course. Fiddler on the Roof, second.
Remastered.
Yeah, remastered.
Do we have to keep mentioning his name?
I was going to let her off that one, Barry. Remastered, you really
Next
fancied that.
Destination was second.
Exactly that. And we've seen Fiddler on the Roof, who he beat at Warwick. Snow Leopardess was fourth, of course, in that. She's £7 better off with the Scaria 10. Snow Leopardess came back. What a wonderful mare she is.
Yeah, and the fact she's had a foal as well in her career and she's still come back in this light. She's just the most fabulous jumper ever. I think even I would ride her down to a national fence, no bother. She is just that fantastic. The only one that being said. But, she is wonderful. And she's having the second start of the season as well, which is a notable positive for this race. When I was going back through the trends, the last 4 winners of this race, this was their second start of the year. Prior experience over the fences is a positive, which she doesn't actually have.
She's a super jumper.
But she's a wonderful
Touch wood,
jumper nonetheless. Exactly, touch wood, yeah. So she'll give an amazing spin no matter what's around there.
Yeah, Patrick, this is one prize that you're not trying to plunder, but you've got fond memories of the national fences, of course, from April.
Yeah, delighted to get a winner on there. Live, love, laugh. How to get run away with in style, I think, was how you could describe it.
That was absolutely remarkable, wasn't it? What sort of horse should we be looking for in the Becher?
I mean, it's a different type of race than in April because the ground is a lot softer, a lot heavier. You don't want to be jumping quite as quick and forward as Live, Love, Laugh was on the good ground. But as you said, the national chase form is the best on offer, and Gordon wouldn't be heading over bar he's ticking all the boxes at home.
Yeah, marker 152 is pretty hefty for him, so it would absolutely need to be. What do you like in the race, Kate?
Yeah, so again, going back through the trends, and I talk about the second start of the season as well, around the 140 marker is sort of a sweet spot really for this race. 8-year-olds have a very good record in this race. Hold-up performers, interestingly enough, and around 10.5 stone as well. So when I was going back through all the trends, the one who I came down on the side of, and he's a decent price as well, D'Addario Vallis, to hopefully give Venetia Williams another big day winner on a Saturday as well, because second start of the season, he's already had a sight over the national fences. He's got around on both occasions as well. He'll definitely get the trip. He's running off of a really nice mark there of 137 as well. 8-year-old. He has all the factors in his favour to outrun his odds, well, his current odds at least anyway, and he gets into the race.
Nice early steer on Kate's impending Betfair column then for you this weekend. That's the Becher Chase then. What wins it? Get your comments in below. There's a question for Patrick, if you don't mind, Patrick. Neil Dawkins has messaged in. You might have seen it come up on the screen. Does Patrick have any news on She Wears It Well? Long-term aims might be, is she good enough for the Champion Hurdle? Asked Neil.
She's back in training. She's in fast work. She's not far off a run. She'll run in December. Is she good enough for the Champion Hurdle? We thought she would be a Royal Bond horse before she got injured. She could be a Mayor's Hurdle horse, definitely. She showed an awful lot at home before she got injured, and she's showing a lot since she's come back. So I wouldn't put anyone off thinking she might be a Cheltenham Festival horse.
All right then.
She's 7-4 favourite for the Mayor's Hurdle.
Is she now? All right, there you go, Barry Piper. I'm absolutely quite right. So listen, eagerly anticipated return. Shall we move on to On My Radar? This is the final segment of the show, I'm sad to say, but it means we can have a good look ahead. Who's first? That's the question. Get in touch with the show. You know anything? RPL Extra is the hashtag. Let us know for what you think coming up. We'll comment on YouTube. I'm first. Right. Sorry to say, Patrick, I've put Shaken up for the Tingle as a banker. Snow Leopardess, as I've mentioned. Yes, you might well hold your head. Let's hope Willie's not watching this. And at 2:05, I'm going to really curry favour as well with Patrick here. I'm putting Protectorate up for the Many Clouds Chase. Watch him back in the Paddy Power Gold Cup. He's by Sander Sands, who Jackadam was, of course. All sorts of staying characters there. I think he wants this trip, and I think he can put it up. I wouldn't want too much rain, but Protectorate for me, I think, is a live wire, and that price will capitulate as long as he's entered, as we expect, on Thursday. All right, that's me, Kate Tracey, On My Radar.
Yeah, I think we've already covered mine, really. It's Mighty Potter for the Ballymore from the anti-post perspective. So apart from that, I say I need to go more so into the other races then at the weekend to be finding more at Aintree and such like this weekend. But in terms of the anti-post portfolio, yeah, Mighty Potter at this stage for the Ballymore.
Yes, OK, my anti-post portfolio looking a little bit thin after Montmiral, but I haven't quite given up yet. He might yet come out and do something special. And don't forget, Put the Kettle On as well. We're delighted to hear Henry de Bromhead saying we'll probably be going up in trip. Don't worry about the Mayor's Chase, but Henry, it's got to be Ryanair. It's got to be Ryanair. Barry, on your radar.
In terms of anti-post portfolio, I thought Statuaire for the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. I think they're sure to run her in there. She got a quote for the Supreme, but Willie's MO is always running the races you're most likely to win. And I think she could be a real player in that. I thought it was really positive that, she wasn't really that well fancied yesterday and she still managed to win. So I think she's a mare that could be going places this year. More immediately tomorrow, in Southwell in the 12:55, there's a mare's handicap, novice handicap chase over 3 miles. Ollie Murphy runs one in called Alpha Carina. She's getting 3 miles. Only her second run over fences. She's rated 117. She's around a 6 or 7 to 4 chance, but she'll take a hell of a lot of beating in that tomorrow.
All right, on my radar completed then. Patrick, let's go to you. When we did the bump, had a big jump off, I asked you for a dark horse to follow. You gave me a walk in the park bump horse out of the great Quevega. I went, oh, that's about as dark as they come. It'll be 10s on when it makes its debut. But it's on everyone's lips, Patrick, already. You gave us the, the scoop on that. Is it named yet?
He did get named this week. Yeah.
Come on, let's have it.
He's very originally named Facile Vega.
Facile Vega. I heard a quote from Willie saying he'd pull the hairs out on the gallop and all that sort of stuff. So,
So no, you can. No, he's doing it all nicely at home. So hopefully we might have him out at Christmas, if not before.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Patrick, what did you make of Statuaire, by the way? And you've got, we've got a banker from Patrick. He's really earning his corn. Now, advertised by Buzz, was the second place finish in the Cesarewitch. And Burning Victory comes back out, does she?
Yeah, she's entered in a handicap hurdle at the weekend. Look, her jumping isn't fantastic, but she was still only beaten 6 lengths in a Galway hurdle over 2 miles. Stepping up to 3 miles, she'll have plenty of weight, but her mark of 142 is way below her ability. Over 3 miles, she might be able to jump a lot more in a comfort zone. So I think she'll take a bit of whacking in nav and big, nice, long straight for her to get going as well.
Lovely stuff. And yes, you did read that right. It's at 108. 108 it is. All right, great stuff from Patrick. Patrick, it's been great to have you. What a season ahead. It's really warming up now. You must be massively excited for what's still to come.
We are just hoping we can get started sooner rather than later, and just hoping that the rain comes, because they're all packed up on the runway ready to rock.
Yeah, well, if I go out in a pair of shorts and Isha on Friday, we've got 2 days of Tingle Creek. Actually, it's bound to pee it down, so don't worry about that. And I'll see you at the Derby Awards lunch as well, Will we? You're coming over for that again. Can't wait.
Free lunch, you wouldn't miss it.
As is Barry Orr, but not before you've taken care of 2 days' business at Sandown, Barry.
Yeah, that's right. Looking forward to that day. Friday and Saturday in Sandown. I'll be clicking my heels on Sunday if you want to invite me over for Sunday lunch. And then Monday to WPA. Kate's going to be there as well. So we've the 4 ball up. I
would like to go in sober to the lunch, actually. So otherwise you're really up against it, aren't we? It'll never happen if Barry comes to mine for lunch, that's for sure. Barry, great stuff. Ryan McHugh will be back on because we have a double header, of course, of the normal live show starting around about 1:30, I think, isn't it, on Friday, and also Saturday as well. Loads of action. Barry, Patrick, thanks very much for joining us. Superb stuff. Get your feedback in for the guys. They love to read it. Kate, great to have you back.
Oh, great to be back again. Thanks so much for your company for these last few Mondays as well. It's been really enjoyable.
Sandown, yes, of course. This is the last RP Live Extra until 2022, but hopefully you've enjoyed them. Get the feedback in, it only helps. We have enjoyed these, haven't we?
Yeah, no, they've been really great. I mean, what's not to like about it? Just talking good racing.
And you'll be back on a live in December as well on Saturdays?
Yes, I am.
Good stuff. All right, great stuff. So 2 days worth of the lovely Tingle Creek action. Friday, terrestrial coverage. Don't worry, we'll cover it all here in the studio. Raucous reactions and the best race time analysis out there. And of course, the big Tingle Creek card on Saturday as well. So I've been Dave Orton. Have we got any housekeeping to come your way? We've got any? I think there's an offer, isn't there? The Christmas countdown. Let's get it up on the screen, shall we? And see what we've got. Let's have a look. I'm good at doing the voiceover here. You can ooh and ah, Kate, if you like. Here we are, the ultimate Cheltenham Festival experience for you and 3 friends. That's right, 3 friends, 5-star hotel, helicopter transfers, all in this prize. Weekly prizes. Don't think the watch comes with it. But all you have to do is get involved on the app, place a bet on the dates below. November the 19th, 26th. Let's hope you did them on them. If not, you've got the 3rd of December, 17th, and Boxing Day as well. Place a bet, and you and 3 pals could be lapping that up at the festival in March. Whew, cannot wait for that. Good luck with that. Great to see you. I've been Dave Orton. Until Friday, good evening.